Hello, we're in. We are in. Welcome, worlds. The Trophy AI's first Twitch stream. Sean, do you want to talk about some of the video stuff you've been working on a little bit? It's been a big project, I think, right?
Yeah, so we have a couple videos that I put together. One was definitely within the Trophy app itself. One thing that we've added is under the how-to videos. We've added a new landing pages guide, and the skill list guide, and the training paths guide. The games guide is actually going to go away because that's old. But all three of these, you're gonna go through in detail what basically how to use the skill list or the training paths, and what they do and what the things mean within them. So you can find out that information there. So that was what we shared already. And then we have some short form content coming out soon for things like TikTok or YouTube or shorts and things like that. And so I'm excited to kind of get that one out. It's done and recorded, just kind of waiting for the final push and get that out, and it'll be we'll have some content coming out soon.
We're very fortunate to have time from David Newman. He's been on some of the Discord live streams. We streamed Rocket League Help periodically, and we are lucky to have him here today. Do you want to give yourself a little intro, David, what you do here, and then I have some questions for you after that.
Yeah, cool. Hi, everybody who's tuning in. Obviously, we're just getting started here with the Trophy Twitch channel. Excited to be doing this. And apologies if I'm coughing because the entire office is getting over like a collective flu. Half people in our office are like out or have been out, myself included. So, so I'm the product manager for Trophy Rocket League, which means that, I'm responsible and work with a big team of people who really try to steer the product in the direction that will be most useful to Rocket League players like ourselves. We obviously want to add features that just make the app incredibly valuable to all people who are looking to learn Rocket League at every level. And I think we've got some really great features in the app already. Obviously, there's lots more that we can do to get those even better than they are today. And there's also lots more ideas that myself and the team have in order to sort of push new features forward. So that's why I'm here. I spend a lot of time getting to know the people that do use our app and finding out what they love, what they don't love, what they think we could do better, or what they think is really working for them. And then I try to translate that into where we're going to go next with the app. So yeah, I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me as well.
Yes, it is a long and winding road to all the different. I think it's hard to convey like the scope of what jobs are, especially at startup environments, which I would definitely count Trophy as. Yeah, it's just like literally everything. So, and one thing I really love about getting to interact with you, David, is that you always have like new ideas, and then when ideas come, you're excited to like talk about them, which maybe is good if you and I are in a meeting together, and maybe it's bad because I think we can like just start talking. So that's one thing.
Yeah. I'm like, there's no like voice of reason in the room. It's like, oh, we can do this and then this and then this and this and this. And we can save the world.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
But excuse me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, there are other voice of reasons here in the company that help us sort of ground the ideas into actual features. So that's
we have some very good focusers. Let's just do, this is, the goal of this is kind of like a fireside chat-y thing and then get to know Trophy employees. Personally, for me, I love getting to know people who are building things that I appreciate. So let's just ask you a little bit about your background. I did a little bit of sleuthing, as you know, on your LinkedIn, just barely, but I would love to know about how you got started doing video editing. What got you interested in that? Was it like a direct course? Was it a roundabout type of thing?
It was entirely my own love of the game, essentially, so that I didn't do any film or video school or technical training aside from just like really loving it. So yeah, for context, I was, for many years, I worked in Toronto. and to a certain extent here in Newfoundland as well, where Trophy is headquartered in St. John's, Newfoundland, for those who don't know, east coast of Canada. So it is an unusual place in a sense for a tech startup, although kind of not as well, because there is sort of a burgeoning tech scene here. There is a bunch of sort of innovative tech products, despite it not being a huge city. It does have like, a local tech scene, and our founder, Mike Winter, had the vision that AI coaching could be like a wave of the future, and we could make an app that helped, starting with sim racers and then Rocket League players and then on, probably into many other games, help people learn. So I am born and raised here in Newfoundland. I always had a love of video and filmmaking. And I was working a few different places coming out of university. I wound up sort of getting interested in copywriting and worked for a marketing agency. Throughout that gave me a taste of doing commercials. I would do more radio than television, but we did get to go out on shoots from time to time. And I was always, since the very early days, just a movie nerd, essentially. Loved filmmaking, was obsessed with directors and the filmmaking process, and loved it. Kind of wanted to be involved. I probably always knew deep down that like maybe I didn't have the the chops exactly to like be Steven Spielberg myself. But either way, I was really interested in cameras, camera technology. So I made my way to Toronto eventually, and with the hopes of working as a full-time video editor. And that worked out. I had enough connections, friends of friends who were making films. I got onto some film and web series sets. There was a web series that was shooting in Toronto, which was the very first thing I worked on.
Dave, how are you applying? Can you apply, and how are you applying some of those video editing or any video ... skills to Trophy? Is there overlap?
It's an interesting question. I think there's not a lot of technical overlap for sure, although there has been a few times. I sit right next to one of our graphic designers who ends up working on some video stuff. I've worked on some video stuff. So I do get to break out the old skills sometimes and be like, I know my way around editing software, and, I've done lots of camera and videography work. What I will say overall, I think, I don't know, maybe this is like a cheesy thing to say, but I'll say it anyways, because I'm kind of a cheesy person. But I think in my sort of creative career, because I've always sought out jobs that have some element of creativity to them, I think I've always really enjoyed, and that's part of what I really loved about video editing too, or the best part in my view, was like making a really good experience for someone, right? Like my favorite part of the process was always the first screening of like a video or whatever it is, like showing it to the client, the person that's like excited to see it, and like really just like sitting there kind of nervous, kind of excited, watching their reactions. And I think that kind of carries over to Trophy in a way, because I have very little formal experience that ever like prepared me for being a product manager, but this opportunity presented itself. It was the right place, right time. And I think that to this day is still the thing that makes me, able to do this job despite not having, like a ton of technical training in product management either. But I think my love of kind of crafting a very good experience as best I can for someone, and, gauging their reaction and adjusting if need be based on what they think, and trying to make things that people are going to hopefully love, or at the very least like, and be probably like the common denominator of those two roles.
Yeah, I agree. I think product management, product innovation, any of these things, they're not necessarily things you can get a degree in. I mean, maybe, but that program would be sus. It would not be a program that you would say this is from a reputable place. It would be from some crazy, like, we'll get you a job in the industry in 12 weeks. I think it has a lot to do with life experience and like what you've seen, because you have to bring in your diverse like range of insights to like help focus whatever. It's a moving target, there's no like there's no one specific skill. You just have to know things, and then you never know what experience will actually apply to the next project. That's like,
yeah,
that's the thing I love about what's happening at Trophy. It's like all these cool things. I get to interact like with a bunch of teams, and everyone has interesting and like exciting things to contribute. Usually it's never like, well, this is an operational thing that I've done a bajillion times. It's almost always like, okay, this is a new thing. Even if it's a similar problem, it's always like a tiny little, at least there's a tiny twist on things.
Yeah. Another thing that I will say, if I'm looking at like through lines, there's just, this is an interesting topic of conversation.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, both in editing and here, there's like very difficult and really like hard to diagnose problems come up that are like, why is this happening? Why isn't it just working the way I expect it to? It can be really frustrating and really trying your patience. But what I found in both is that like there is always a solution, right? It's there. It just requires dedication. It requires like, what's different between being a video editor and being in this role is that I was essentially a lone wolf as a video editor. I was the one that both discovered the problem and eventually solved it. Whereas this role is very interesting because I don't have a ton of like coding or technical prowess. So I'm here to basically just like work with the people who actually have the expertise to solve the problems. But I'm just kind of the one that's like, no, this problem is worth, keeping our minds on it, keeping our heads down on it and plowing through, because it is very easy to sort of get frustrated with solutions that like should on paper be easy, but end up just requiring tons of work and kind of banging your head against the wall because we encounter these types of problems all the time. And the inclination is always like, maybe we could just give up on this for a while and move on. And sometimes that is what you have to do. But it is sort of some judgment calls sometimes of like, no, let's keep going. Let's maybe bring more people into this. Not easy always, because time is money, and people's time, the staff's time, is important. But always easy on paper, says Benson.
Yes, that's true. Well, I don't know if people realize how challenging editing is. Like, I feel like when it comes to filmmaking, like logistics, arranging everyone's schedule and getting resources together is one of the most challenging pieces. However, especially like if you think of a feature-length film or something, even like a 3-minute segment of content, if you have a wide range of input that you're wanting to like pare down, it can take a long time, which is very similar to what we're doing at Trophy. Actually, it's like, okay, let's have these meetings. This idea is really great. And then someone will come like with an additional new piece that might actually just be a whole new growth that will actually balloon into like a whole other thing. So it's all about like refining what we have and then like, I don't know, digesting it somehow and then producing a product. It's kind of
and like things will come in weird waves where in editing I'm talking about, you can probably make more parallels that like you can sort of like blast through a sequence in a video, movie, whatever, that and make it in a way that you're kind of happy with it in like a very short time, sometimes just like burst of inspiration. Might be like 1 hour to like whatever, make a 3-minute sequence that you're like pretty happy with as a general rough cut. And then like 20 or 40 hours or weeks going back and like refining it and making it perfect. And then sometimes it's the opposite. Sometimes it's like just getting the thing in rough form takes a long time. And then it becomes very obvious what you need to do to perfect it. Interesting how it can fluctuate like that.
I think so. Looking at our Trophy team, I think that's like one of the amazing parts about the data science team is that they are able to like make sense and derive order from like what is a bunch of information. Like I don't know. I've looked in Rocket League replay files. I've tried to like understand how to do this stuff, and the fact that they can get on it so quickly. I know we have parsers that we use and everything. However, we still need to make use of that information. And so it's like, I don't know. It's pretty incredible to me. That's like a wild field. We have some very capable people on the team. That's all I know.
John, taking a lot of disparate pieces of info and sort of painting a picture with it it's something that it's amazing that we're even able to do it a bit, but we continue to sort of try to make the painting more clear and refined and beautiful.
Yeah, and it never ends too. Also, I'm sure there's like always something else that would be nice to have. Yeah. Sean, do you have any thoughts? Any questions on this?
Yeah, I was about to ask. So, Dave, what aspect of building the trophy app was the most challenging?
Good question. Um, the initial build of the analysis dashboard was very challenging for not only myself, in fact, probably less so myself than like some of the devs who were working on it. We really tried to do a lot in a little amount of time and the analysis dashboard really came out of like literally not much more than myself and Mike Winter, the founder, on a call like, okay, AI lessons, cool, great. Pretty happy that we have proven we can do them. But like, what happens in theory when somebody runs out of the lessons, right? No matter how many lessons you add, you can have a big volume. At the time, we did not have a big volume. We went from 2 to 10 to 20, but like even then, it's a finite number. So in theory, someone can hit that end and they can essentially run out of content, right? Um, so we started to have a discussion about like, okay, what can we do that like drives recurring value, that like the value will never go away as long as we do our jobs right and we build something that actually works. You can keep using this every game you play. And the first answer was analysis, which did exist. There were other apps offering analysis, and we started to theorize like how we could do it a little differently. And of course, like integrating some AI to the analysis was something that we had the tools to do. Um, but it was a fairly big sprint at the time that I believe we might have started in prior to like, Christmas, like winter break of last year. Excuse me. And then we really settled into it, if I recall correctly, on January of the previous year. So almost 1 year ago. And we tried to do it all really quick. We bit off a lot and we asked a lot of the team building it. I kept quoting that in my view, like more is more in this case, because we had all these ideas for stats that we could compute. We had them. We had the stats. We knew we could get them out of the replay file, but every one of those stats does require its own sort of bespoke visualization. Even if the chart form is the same, there's a lot of work that goes in to sort of building every one of those charts and graphs, even if they are sort of using the same component. And yeah, I think had we had our time back, I think we would probably break it up into clearer phases more than we did. And my endless thanks to Scott and Kyle, who were the main devs involved in building it. Scott was really working on the front end. Kyle was working on like parsing the data and getting all the analysis ready, along with a bunch of other people on the team who were giving us feedback. But yeah, we did a big sprint to get the analysis up and in the state that it was upon launch, because it was single game stats, and then very shortly after, it was multi-game stats and trend reports, all of which looked a lot different than they do today. But yeah, getting that up was challenging in that we had a theory that it would work. We had a theory that it was valuable. We knew we could do it, but we probably got pretty ambitious by like how quickly we could do it. And looking back, we might have maybe like relaxed the timeline of it a bit and tried to like refine each piece a little more. So that's what I would probably say biggest challenge.
What's the reference to the sim racing side? Like how long? I don't know if that was going on before you came in, or maybe you were in since the inception. But what was the timeline like there? Did that influence the Rocket League like estimate?
Sim racing was the majority of it was built before I started at Trophy, and it was kind of built up to a point where it was ready to be launched as a monetized product. I remember meeting the Trophy team for the first time, actually, in person, aside from a couple of people who I knew personally on the team. I remember meeting the team at large on the day that they were having a party to celebrate the first dollar earned from launching monetization of sim racing.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it was cool. So I was like, congrats, everybody. I don't even know what we're doing here, but good job that you did it. But yeah, now, so I wasn't there for the actual push to develop it. I feel like Rocket League has probably been in gestation longer than sim racing even. Don't quote me on that. Yeah, Madison says I just kind of showed up. Nobody knew who I was. Neither did Madison. No. Yeah, I guess I did just kind of show up, but there you go.
That's how it
Yeah,
goes.
truthfully, I can't.
You?
What did you say, John?
I said, did Madison predate you?
Yes, Madison was here before me. I'm not sure how much longer before me. Shows how much I know about the company, honestly. You're asking me some trivia that I'm not too sure about. But
Well,
as for
focused, that's how it goes.
The development of sim racing, was I would say if you want like the real inside story, you probably need somebody on the live event other than myself, because I came on specifically for the Rocket League after sim racing was built.
Yes.
So now I just so I always see it as this more polished, more pre-existing thing, when in fact not long before that was probably an equal sort of rush and crunch to get this thing off the ground, just like we did with Rocket League.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. That is so interesting. It is a thing that I've been curious about for a while. I haven't obviously had time to just randomly ping people about the history of Trophy, but it is interesting. Yeah, one of the things that I think is interesting about Trophy, and I visualize it as an obstacle to overcome, or a challenge that we are appropriately built for. Sim racing and Rocket League are not the same, and similarly, sim racing and Rocket League are not like Rainbow Six Siege. So I think it's an interesting challenge, and I would love to get your thoughts on this. What you see as the kind of through line between things like that. Like when you're coming at this product, obviously you want to solve a direct problem, which is serving customers, making a useful thing for a specific group. And the thing that we're trying to do is a big bite, though. It's several, if you think about it in terms of segments, even within Rocket League, you could think about multiple segments. You have tournament people who are competing for money. You have, the bronze through champ range, which is maybe the majority of people, and not maybe, it is the majority of people. So that's a kind of a different segment. Anyway, what is your take on the scope that Trophy does, and what do you see as our ability to draw parallels?
Yeah, we actually talk about this a lot, and funnily enough, we just recently had we have occasional internal get-togethers, if you want to call them that, where we sort of just talk about the vision of the company, the base camp that we want to set, and how we're going to get there. Which is fun to do. We talk a lot about where we want all this to go as a team a lot, which is really cool. The vision for this company is actually quite ambitious, and it's that in the future, X number of years from now, everyone, or virtually everyone, the majority of people will use AI coaches for something. Not just gamers, not just people trying to flip reset in Rocket League, not just people trying to get better at a competitive FPS. Excuse me, not even just competitive people in general. Could be the professional world, could be the medical space, could be people looking to cook. Anything that you can imagine, you get either coaching or training or classes from, in theory, could be done with the help of an AI coach or tutor. And that's not to say the AI is, we're not here to replace and put out of work the many coaches in the different fields. I think we offer a complement to that. If anything, as you see with Rocket League, we work closely with coaches, and we want to build services that they want to use too, and get them excited and help them do their jobs. But there is a place for automation, in the sense that you can have something that can help you learn, help you train, help you get better whenever you need it, 24/7, and affordable and easy to access. So that could be so many different skills. It could be, like I said, sports, tennis, golf, what have you. It could be cooking. It could be, learning to do open heart surgery. If you want to get that ambitious, it could be, in the business sector. It could be average life hobbies. But gaming seemed like a really good fit as a starting place. And as to the difference between sim racing and Rocket League, that's it, it boils down to, I think, the passions of our founder, Mike Winter, and where his experience lie. So he is obviously a big fan of both. It'll be interesting as we do expand, because at some point I always joke, like, we're going to have to eventually build something that's not like, catering to the direct interests of myself and Mike Winter and a few other people, because obviously he and I are old Rocket League buddies. So I was very eager to join his team and do this, because I have a passion for making it better and for helping Rocket League players get better, because I want to myself, honestly.
Yeah. I think you have to. The first thing you build is something that should serve your interests at the end of, like, at a base level, because it's going to be what you're most passionate about. The chances of actually seeing it through to the end are higher. I've been reading a lot of books about product development lately, and that's like the core thing. Is your team passionate about the thing that they're building? And then you add on things later once you get the processes.
And I don't want to make it seem like there wasn't a ton of due diligence, because there absolutely was, right? I think there was a ton of study as to, is there a problem that needs solving here, and what are the tools that are out there that exist? And it just so happened that there was both passion and like a product market fit, we felt, for each of these spaces, because, sim racers are really passionate about what they do. They're heavily invested in what they do, to even be doing it seriously. A lot of them have a ton of hardware, a ton of their time of their lives that they dedicate. And Rocket League is kind of one of a kind. That's why we're here, because we just, like, there's no other game that quite scratches this itch that it does. It's it's the people who love it. Like, it's more than just a game. It can get really into an obsession. That's like a healthy obsession, I view. I don't view it as an unhealthy obsession, but I think you guys feel the same about the game, that like it is a beautiful game, and there's a lot to learn.
Yeah, there are definitely like so many first-person shooters and real-time strategy games and all sorts of things like that, but there's nothing like Rocket League. It is the only game of its kind.
Yes.
And it creates such a passionate community of people who are just super into it, and it's basically almost all they play.
Yeah.
It's a really interesting kind of dynamic and community that Rocket League brings.
Yeah, it's just like playing pool or something. I'm not saying Rocket League is like that, but the skill ceiling is incredibly high with the Rocket League, simply down to the fact that you can't like just automatically do things. For example, in FIFA, it's mostly like animations that are triggered, or at Madden, another example, where you're not necessarily controlling everything. There are some things in Rocket League that are animation based. For example, when you dodge forward, the way the car flips, that's not really something that you're doing inputs. You do the input to cause the action, but getting a flip reset is a very deliberate and challenging thing to do. So
I just want to say, a friend of mine made a really cool comment that I always remember and I love. So shout out to my friend Dan, who's not probably watching with us, but he commented that he's played a ton of sports video games in his day, but he viewed Rocket League as the only time he's ever played a video game sport. You know what I mean? It's like it's a game that really does have the depth of understanding and strategy and mechanical need as an actual sport, versus just a video game that's trying to replicate through button inputs like a real life sporting activity.
Yeah, it even correlates to like the viewer experience. Like it's very easy. Same thing with sim racing. It's very easy to understand what is happening at a glance. Generally, there are intricacies of sim racing, especially when you get into like how specific players or users get. You can get as specific as like a real car, which is infinitely specific. So Rocket League, but at a base level though, it is very much like a sport, more so than almost anything, I would say.
Yeah, good comment in the chat. It's interesting that both have really low skill floors but high skill ceilings, which is 100% true. And not only the skill ceiling, but also just like that same interesting dynamic applies to just the simplicity of the game. Like ultimately, it's just like 2 or 3 cars on a team trying to push a ball into the net.
Yes.
But then from there, the strategy and the complexity of it, goes exponential. But at its heart, it's a very simple game, which is why it works so well as an esport too. Because anybody can watch it and be like, oh, they're just trying to get the ball in the net like any other sport. Despite the fact that they don't know anything about all the insane mechanics they're witnessing.
Yes, and Sean, you look like you're ready.
What I find pretty cool about Rocket League in general is they created this very like almost realistic physics environment, and it's just like this open physics environment that you can basically do anything in it. Like, you know what I mean? There's no sort of technical limitation to the whatever's going on, giving what the car can do, where it can go, how it can flip, what all this stuff. And so what it has created is this community of like finding out what can it do. Like even the creators, I feel like they don't even know all that it can do. Like people are still discovering what the game is. They created this almost like natural physics environment, and then just allowed these cars to just flip around in it, and it's such a cool technical challenge, and it's very different from any other game, because like any other game, like you're gonna be limited on what you can do, what the movements are, things like that, and you can't just go anywhere at any time. But then in this case you can, within your obviously the course, but it's really just a really cool way that they just built this open world environment in a way that allows for just discovering what's in it more so than creating anything.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah, when we have some of the CMS creators, some of our pro people for the non-trophy insiders, it will be interesting to get to see like which mechanics they know about. Even like there are names for things that I'm not part of the freestyler community in Rocket League, but they definitely have names for a very specific actions in the game that I think most people just don't even know about. We have one of those things in our trophy training, the Mac Tough training pack. That is like a highly specific chain of events.
It's so wild.
Specific. Yeah. I didn't even know parts of it. And then I was talking to Smitty, who's one of our creators, and he was telling me about, I forget what it's called, something, cabbage is in the name. But so anyway, they have these crazy names. I know there's like a thing called a beautiful musty, and there's all these things.
It's purple cabbage.
Maybe it is. Yeah, maybe it is.
It's like a dirty joke or something, but I think that's really what it's called.
I don't think
it is, but maybe.
Yeah. Well, oftentimes freestylers are like young adults or like late teens, so of course they're probably going to try and sneak in some sort of inside joke that they get to
like Moisty Sports.
Yes, exactly. Like Moisty Sports. They had border trouble. I think they were sponsoring a League of Legends team or something, and the person at the border, because I think it was an EU team, or was it some non-North America team, and they were trying to come into North America to do a tournament, and simply because the name was like that, they didn't want to allow them in. So names are important. Names are important, people.
Oh man, I wonder if border control thought they were messing with them or something like that, and thought they were.
Yeah, right.
You're not professionals. No professional would name their organization something like that. But it is true. You got to have a good first impression, and that it means a lot.
I may have overstayed my welcome here, but I know you guys have a lot on the docket to sort of talk about the app. And
I want to get your takes on what we're going to talk about. So it's all of the new warm-up games, and then also the web client.
All right. So a couple of the new features that we have put into the new Trophy app is most notably the warm-ups. So what's going on with the warm-ups, Steve?
So with the warm-up games, we started talking a lot about like sort of easy and quick free play exercises that people sometimes do, or the coaches were advising us that they teach some of their students to do, to try to get sort of more comfortable and like ready for games or ready for tournaments, whatever it may be, ready for a session. And a few ideas sort of came out of that. And essentially what we tried to do with the warm-up games, are still trying. They're out in beta. So this is sort of like our chance to like let people play them in a slightly more basic state than they may be on their final version. There's 3 modes. One is ball control, and this is sort of born from the idea of like just driving around trying to either dribble the ball or keep the ball in close possession through quick touches, while maintaining control, but also while maintaining speed. And what you can do with this one, which is kind of interesting, is you can configure, I should say, these different settings down at the bottom to factor into your score calculation. So there's things like how fast your car is going, player speed, how fast the ball is moving, ball speed, ball height, and time between each touch. So basically, you can sort of set up this challenge as you want, which you can't do in free play, right? You can't really you can do these different exercises, but it's all self-directed. And that's one thing that we generally are trying to do at Trophy is like take what people are already doing in Rocket League and add a bit of extra value, sometimes a lot of extra value. In this case, there's like a gamification element where you get a score. You can configure bots to sort of challenge you as you drive around the field, which you can't do in free play. And so what essentially happens is you can set it up to be timed or to have no time limit. You can set bots or no bots. You can set some various boost modifiers if you just want to have regular boost, unlimited. You can have big pads only. And then you're basically challenged to get a high score that is calculated by how well you're doing in each of these different metrics that you turn on. So you could say run a mode where you're like, okay, I want to be judged on how fast I go and how much how little time there is between each touch, and also how much distance I get the ball to cover. And then I want to run that as my warm-up mode. So basically, like, the faster I go while keeping the ball in like close control, I will get a higher score. You could also do it with ball height. So you could actually do kind of the opposite, where you're trying to drive the ball upwards and be underneath it and maintain some degree of control while you like also get up high into the air. So that could be a mode you could run.
So ball height in this case is just trying to keep the ball up, and how, getting points that way. Is that what you're saying? Or
Yeah,
okay.
exactly. So yeah,
Yep.
you'll need to not only like move fast, but like keep the ball up into the air. So that's more of like some bounce and pop training, or maybe air dribble might work well there. So there's a few different ways you can configure it. And it's kind of up to you, and you set it up, and then you challenge yourself to get a high score.
Yep. I remember when I
Yeah.
tried playing with this the first time. I had it down to like one bot or something, and it was just
Yep.
kind of like, all right, this is okay, not that big of a deal. And then I believe Kyle was talking about how he bumped up the number of bots, and
Yes.
once I did that, all of a sudden it became a very different game of
Yes.
trying to keep the ball and keep possession with these things. These cars just torpedo at you. They try to demo you. It's crazy. It's a great way to warm up and start thinking fast.
Those bots
Yeah, these
are
are
relentless.
these are not your mama's bots. These are some exactly. They are based on the name escapes me. Sorry, but there's a bot AI that's specifically basically aiming around demos and bumps. And their goal is to like bump you out of the way. And they have some fairly strong AI.
Yeah, they're good. They're very good at trying to, if you have two of them chasing you while one is trying to shoot on net, it is very, very challenging. And actually, that's kind of what real gameplay is like, except they're actually better than the people that I go up against for that purpose.
Yeah.
They will bum me, and then they will demo me.
Their goal is to sort of get up in your grill and knock you out of the way and take control of the dribble. It's Bribblebot, not dribble, but Bribble with a B. That's what it's called. And so essentially they are trying to dribble themselves, and they will very quickly put you out of the way of the ball in order to do it. So yeah, you get 3 of those bots in there, and you're going to be very challenged to maintain control. So it really is a cool challenge. And we want to do more with bots, or I see some boats memes. Maybe we might do something with boats too. I don't know. Maybe I said boats instead of bots. I probably did.
I love that. It looks like Sean's hopping in right now.
Yep.
Yeah, so I jumped in real quick just to kind of give a quick view of what you see once you get in here. And so it doesn't really start until you start to jump or boost. But once you do, you can see like they really are after you. And they will bump the crap out of you.
Yes, they are. I think last time we streamed, we only had the one game, which is ball control, and then we added sharpshooter and off-wall shots. Is that correct?
Yeah, correct. So we don't have to go in great detail into all of them. Right. There are two more modes.
Yeah.
One is off-wall shots, which is basically like more of look at these guys. They are all over you. They're relentless. Absolutely. Off-wall shots is basically like you will have targets sort of painted up on the walls, and you'll actually be you'll be sort of like letting the ball bounce once or twice, and you're challenged to take sort of hard, accurate shots into the wall, and then basically keep that going. Almost like imagine like warming up like ping pong, where you're just sort of like playing against the wall, or tennis. And this is almost like that, where you can drive in circles and sort of bang it against the same wall, or you can configure it to have the scoring happen on both walls, which means you can fire it one way and then swing around and chase the ball the other way if you want.
I think this skill, practicing this specific game, off-wall shots, is like a very good all-around, like you have to read the bounce timing, you have to aim for a specific point on the wall. It kind of covers all of the accuracy things that you need from Rocket League. I should actually do it more now that I'm thinking about it. I was doing it a lot. It's been, we've been working and everything. I lose track of my routine. Let's see.
And the ball resets if you run out of bounces, basically. So it's a bit of there's a bit of accuracy training, but it's also like it's a bit of car control training, really, because one of the coaches that was instrumental in like recommending this as a warm-up exercise is Ultimo.
Oh, nice. Yeah, he's
may or may not be here now. Yeah. But I know when he plays, we saw some clips of him sort of playing this mode, and he actually plays it like not generating tons of power, but really focusing in on like controlled movement more than power.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like almost like just getting into a position to hit the ball accurately is like sometimes the challenge just as much as like generating power or speed on the ball is.
Yeah, exercises each have a goal. I think a lot of times because there's a lot of learning information about Rocket League, but there's not a lot of like focused learning stuff. I come from the music world, which has like centuries of built up pedagogy practice. So everything's been hyper specialized. But I think what you just described about Ultimo is very similar. Like if I was doing a classical guitar preparation and it's before the concert, I'm going to play really slowly and deliberately through the pieces and make sure that I am doing the mechanical movements in the appropriate way. And this mode definitely does allow you to do that. And the four bounce limit is actually really, there's a lot of room in there to like make sure you have enough time to set up. Like it's not as punishing, I feel like, as it could
But it is really, I totally agree with what you're saying. And like to go back to the Ultimo thing, I don't know if he's here. I saw comments, but he might have taken off. But it's almost like you view this and you see the target and you're like, oh, I get what this challenge is. It's power shots. It's hitting it hard and accurate. Yeah. But then once you start to play it and you start to realize what the limited bounces ask you to do, it really is just as much, if not more so, like a recovery, power slide control training, and this, like I said, getting into position when you're out of position to read the bounce of the ball and to be where you need to be to put some accuracy on it is just as much the challenge.
Yeah, and like
itself.
Predict, like it's a similar thing. Getting to position, predicting where the ball is going to go is probably, because we're disembodied from the car. We're not like in it. It's very challenging to like fuse our perception of self with the perception that we're controlling the car from a third person. And so being able to read the play becomes super hard, especially as you're boosting through. Like I'm sure if we were in the car and we felt the physical forces, it would actually be easier to like understand where we needed to be.
Yeah.
But we're not. We're disembodied and we are numb to the like experience. And so being able to read the play and predict is like unintuitive, I would say. So games like this are super good for that. And the warm-up game we did last time, same thing. You have to plan ahead what you're going to do next, where your car going to be. If you need to hit it in a specific place, how can you touch the ball now so that it's easy for you to follow up later? So.
Probably help me fix my like classic issue of like front flipping too often as I move around the field if I was getting like more physically ill from the amount of flips I was doing. Yeah.
Yeah. If you're in the driver,
yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna drive. That's fine. We don't need to flip.
I think about this sometime, like what it would look like realistically, but honestly, the second the car landed from any sort of height, it would be like flattened. So if we get to enjoy it in the trophy land. Okay, so the Sharpshooter, Sean, I don't know if you pulled that one up. Yeah. So
yeah, Sharpshooter. Sharpshooter is the most recent of the warm-up modes that we've launched, and it's really exciting in my view. What I feel is that it has a ton of potential. It still has a ways to go to like fully realize its potential, which I think is like extra exciting in that we have some sort of big vision for where we could take this. What Sharpshooter is essentially like a library of shots from actual games of Rocket League, from trophy users, from various replay files of every different rank. So there are, I believe, last I checked, bronze and silver were actually not there, but we're coming for you, bronze and silvers. We'll get that in there. But essentially, like every rank up to SSL outside of those two are covered, and there's a fairly decent library, which will keep expanding, of these actual moments, which are shots and goals from real games. And so what Sean is now doing is he's playing out against bots. The bots will take over, but they'll recreate these real scenarios. And what you can do is sit back and like watch a playback of what happened in the actual shot itself. So you can view how it actually went down in the game and how the goal was scored. And then you can actually play yourself and sort of act it out and see if either you can A, recreate the exact same outcome, or B, try to play around and create a different outcome if that's what you feel you want to try to do. Which is really exciting. And it's sort of the reason why I feel like it has a ton of potential is because we think that this could be like a really cool exercise that tons of players might want to do potentially as like daily training, or if not daily, however often you play Rocket League and get on. This could be a really cool warm-ups exercise to basically be thrown in to a bunch of actual scenarios from games, both other people's games and also maybe eventually just from your games. Maybe you can just replay shots that you missed that, our analysis says like, hey, this was an awesome chance for you. Like you almost had it, but you whiffed, or you didn't get the accuracy that you could have. So maybe you can go back and replay those moments and just try to affect the outcome and relive it and play it again and again.
Yes. Yeah. I love that. I mean, it's some practice anyway. Like in a train, we saw Sean was in a match alone in the, what's it called? The training pack. I'm getting old. Off-wall shots.
Off-wall shots, yeah.
Now we see there are cars in the way, and the plays are very unpredictable. So it's just a good kind of different portion of the brain or the physical system here. So.
And it moves fast.
It does move fast. And you can load up the higher tier packs if you want to.
You can load up the higher tier packs. Yep. Go ahead, Sean.
One thing that struck me when I was first started playing is just how many shots there are. I think it's like, how many are there? It's like over 200 almost.
Yeah, we have 250 for each rank, I believe is our current value. But there's no reason now that we have the system in place that we can't just sort of go, all the way into like thousands of shots potentially.
Yeah, and it would make sense to cycle through. Like as let's say in 20 years, I mean, just for the sake of discussion here, people in 20 years are going to be much different capability-wise than they are today. So you theoretically would want to update or refresh, I suppose, the pool of moments for a given
absolutely, segment or whatever. And like Sean found a really interesting there. The last one he was on that I noticed is like a real off-wall shot, right? Like starting on the wall, but you really need to have some aerial control and get off the wall.
Yeah.
And that, a big concept that we want to do with these is we can do it ourselves, but we can also, leverage our awesome community to have the tools to do this, is to give these shots tags. Like, what is the theme? What kind of mechanic are you trying to do in this shot? And just general, like, do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you want to save this shot? You can, create your own playlists. We can create a playlist for you if you're like, I find me shots that are all like wall play, wall shots and off wall shots. And our AI can basically spin up a training regimen for you based on these shots that maybe like move from diamond into champ. So you can almost like escalate your difficulty eventually. There's a whole bunch of options we feel like we could explore with this.
Yep.
There's also, in my view, there's more we can do to refine it. You definitely see there's some glitchiness within the bot's movement. We're fully aware of that. We talked about easy on paper problems to solve. This seems like it would be easy to solve, and it's surprisingly not.
It has to do with the replay files, right? There's frames. The frames are not, so what we see in game is a very smooth, cohesive experience, but I don't think in the replay files it's capturing,
Correct.
It's not capturing as many FPS as you're getting. It's like 60 or something.
Yeah.
So, yes, that is interesting.
In theory, it should just work, Madison. Yes, exactly. Yes. Yeah, it's like, just fix the stuttering issue. It's
all right, that's... Well, we're going to have to do AI smoothing now, so that's a freaking problem.
So we are fully aware of that, and I think to get like the best possible experience, that is ultimately one thing that we will do. But yeah, it's that definitely falls under the category of these easy on paper problems to solve. But once you get into actually solving it, and again, one of these painful ones that I wish I could get my hands dirty and do more to help the team to solve it. All I can do is be like, hopefully we can get that solved. And
imaginary frames, hallucinated frames, very easy.
No, but there are a lot of one thing that we've noticed is that are you familiar on the Rocket League home screen? There's the match history button.
Yes,
and that has its own replay files. Interestingly, the way that those replay files are saved, the motion will be smooth. So that stuttering and that frame issue won't be there, is what I've been told.
Yeah. Something about the engine. So I used jump in replay before, which is like kind of predecessor in concept. And it was still stuttery like this. It was still stuttery like this. It wasn't like smooth. So, well, of course, Epic or Psyonix are going to be able to there's probably some plugin or some module within Unreal Engine that is capable of like doing the smoothing that we're talking about, because they have access. Because there's even portions of the replay file that we, as outsiders, aren't necessarily 100% sure about, or at least that's what it seems like from the other parsers that I've seen. There's just pieces of data that haven't actually been interpreted like correctly yet. They're like, well, what does this do? I don't know. It's like the question mark.
Yeah, there's the Rocket League replay files are there's the inscrutable world of Rocket League replay files.
They keep changing them.
That too. A lot of headaches involved.
Yes.
Excuse me.
Ball chasing goes down. I guess so. The last piece we haven't touched on, I know you said you were free to go, but there's one more piece I want to ask you about, Dave, and that is the web clients. And I'll actually switch over to it. We have the web client now. I love it. I started beta testing or whatever, the alpha in February. I think I heard about it. Did not look anything like this. We talked a little bit about it in our Discord help stream, but even these, can you see my mouse? You can. Even the I guess this is next rank target, right? Is that associated here? Yeah, even this is different. So when I'm playing, I often focus on small boost pads that I'm picking up. And now that's what all my overlays are. It's like all boost related. There is some positional stuff, but now I'm looking more at like positional stuff. Anyways, these archetypes are like very helpful, I would say, actually. Do you want to just talk about some of the stuff we've changed recently? I know there hasn't been a ton of work done in the very near past right now, like within the past month and a half. However, do you want to just do a quick discussion?
Yeah. There was certainly a lot of focus on just like design and visuals and UX that got put into the web analysis as of this past spring. Basically, there was a fairly big push to get out some new look and feel, some polish. When we did that, we actually, in a way, stripped back some functionality, and now we're sort of like building it back bit by bit. But one thing we wanted to do was sort of remove the distinction and the need to visit two different places to see your single game stats at a glance, as well as how you were trending. So this was a thing that was actually on two different pages originally, was like how you did on the given match. And then you navigated to a different page called trends to view just that, your trends, your multi-game analysis. And the theme here was that we kind of ultimately they are just, it's the same stats. It's just viewed two different ways. So that numerical value you see there is your single game stat. That's how you did on the most recent match. Most recent match being what you see on the scoreboard up above. That's the players you were with. Yep. And those values are, how you did in the moment. But then these graphs really show like, how are you doing overall? How is what kind of trend curve is your stats making, if any, or is it staying kind of flat? And how does that compare against the next rank? When I was muted, I mentioned that, we do generally compare you not to your current rank, but to the next rank.
Yeah.
And so that, let's say, like average shot speed, which I see you're looking quite good on. You go over the target a fair bit. That's good. That's green.
That's Trophy's influence, by the way.
That target is probably taking into account your rank and then showing like the target of the next rank.
Yep.
So there is more features and functionality to come here on the web app, but that's the idea, is that we first, when we first built the analysis dashboard, it's just like, can we do it? And like, let's give everyone all the info that we have that we can possibly show. And then we actually put some effort into like, okay, how can we make this cleaner and clearer?
Yep.
And just like at a glance, make it, more so you can understand what you're looking at. And we still have a ways to go, to be clear. I don't view this as like mission accomplished. We made like perfect web analysis. Web analysis is tough in that like it just like I mentioned, is the hardest thing we've done. It continues to be, because it's hard, where Rocket League is such a contextual game. It's hard to look at something as universally bad or good or too high or too low. There are certain stats, and we love those stats, the ones that paint a very, undeniable picture when you look at them across all ranks. That like, your average shot speed does go up the higher you go in the ranks. And obviously it's a good thing to work on if your shot speed is notably lower than your current rank average or, the next rank average. There's a few stats that were like, oh, these are the easy ones that we can justifiably say, like, you should really try to focus on like hitting harder shots. We can see that over the course of many, many games, your shot speed's too low. One thing, if I'll give a little sneak peek as to where we want to go with this, one thing that people ask about a lot and we're very aware of is, just like I said, Rocket League is very contextual. Sometimes you make certain decisions based purely upon the decisions that are made by other people, i.e. your teammates. If you have super aggressive teammates, like, of course, the proper course of action really typically is to like hang back, give them the space to be super aggressive. If you see they're just not letting up, this happens all the time. Or the reverse, if they're just like your net camper that just like wants to play back and play defense, that really opens things up for you to hang out in the offensive zone more and take more shots. But this concept of like different analysis profiles is one that we want to get into. There's a few ideas we have, but like one thing that we think we can do that's really interesting is to view your analysis through the lens of different player archetypes, or even maybe the archetypes, fingers crossed, if we can get some like high level coaches and some content creators involved, we can even look at them through the lens of like what this person values in the analysis stats. And that way it removes a little bit of the debate if it's this one monolithic AI telling you like, this is too high, this is too low. If you have whatever, I don't want to name any names, but exactly. Like somebody's analysis profile to focus on the type of player that they know they want to be, then it's kind of more undeniable when you look at the stats and it tells you, whoa, you're way off in this category. Like you're not spending near enough time in the air if that's the type of player you want to be. that's the archetype you're trying to fill.
That is interesting. Yeah. So this concept you're talking about is there's a coach that I used to take lessons from. His name is Ron Skin, and he really tries to work with what you're talking about. So he tries to identify in the beginning, say it's the first session, he tries to identify what your play style is basically, and then he tries to maximize the good parts about that play style and then minimize, because he doesn't want to like change you. It's not like about conforming one person to another person's viewpoint. It's about supporting that person. So when I hear you saying that, I'm like, that's pretty dope, to be honest. It's like, I want to be, and you're like, let's say I'm a super defensive player, but I want to be more aerial based. It would be cool to like select the aerial profile and then see what I need to do. We already do kind of do that here, but it sounds like it's just the next step beyond.
Yeah. And you can play with it, and we will give feedback, of course, on like, okay, if this is the type of player you're going to want to be, we have a really talented team of data scientists who can pull some really interesting, like next level type stats on like, well, players who play like this tend to do really well in these types of team makeups, or so that's, another hint that I'm dropping here as to a direction we want to go with analysis that I'm really interested in, thinking about a lot right now, is team composition and the archetypes and like how people fill different roles within a team, stats and insights as to, how you are doing within a team, or like how you can complement other team members more. And I mean team in the sense of like, sure, you can look at this out of interest in some randoms that you match up with. But of course, a lot of people who play Rocket League have gaming groups that they'll like party up with. And within those groups, sometimes there's subgroups. Like there might be a combination of 3 players that you could look at as a whole, or, that means you have 3 different combinations of duos teams as well. 3 different combinations or 2? Yeah, 3. My math is great. So you can basically make those subgroups of like, okay, just looking at the 2 of us together, how do we complement each other? How can we play better to integrate well together?
I think so. It's really like a, what would you call it, blue ocean or whatever, to use business jargon. There's the level of analysis that we're considering. I think there maybe is one other company that's really, and I don't even know because I haven't seen inside their info, but there's just not a lot of tools that do this level and have the same capability that we do. So a lot of what we're doing is like experimenting. We don't even know what's going to work and what's not going to work from like a user preference perspective. Yeah. But the things that you're describing are the things that generally it seems like people want. Like no one's done the analysis on which of players are the most effective to get together. And you could even consider, like, if I'm in a league, this group of players I've lost against a bunch of times. Like, why am I losing against this specific collection of players? I mean, that's not maybe what we're considering doing. However, that is possible now that we're collecting info and we have people who are like capable of ideating and like actually creating the systems to like process stuff. So
yeah, exactly. I consider myself very blessed to be able to just like dream up wacky ideas and actually have like enough smart people in the room that can generally go make something really cool happen from it. And
they're fast too. It's insane because the changes I've seen.
They move quick.
Yes. It's like, whoa. Stuff that I thought would take a while. We've all been.
Yeah. So that is how I'd probably sum it up, is that we still have a lot of ideas. We're really trying not to rest with what we have here as far as a feature set. We really view virtually all the features we have in there as like still like the beginning of what we can do. We can definitely do more, and we have big ideas with Trophy, and we're going to keep pushing for it. So appreciate everyone who uses the app, and please, anyone who's watching this or hasn't tried the app, if you're interested, reach out. And if you are already on there, please keep in touch with me for feedback. That's my big thanks to everyone watching.
Yes, thank you, David. You've been beyond generous with your time here. So.
I mean, as you know me well. Like I could talk about this for many more hours, but sometimes I have to cut myself off. Yeah,
and I loved getting to hear about your background a little bit too. I hadn't looked too deep into it, but yeah, it's amazing. It's always I mean, the diverse group of people we have at Trophy, it's always nice hearing about their external experience too. So
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Well, thank you, everybody. I will hop off, but
yes.
you guys, thanks for having me.
Yeah, appreciate you.
Definitely.
David.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah. Let's bring up the discount codes. So we have discount codes. They're open for 7 days from this point. What is that from now? I don't know what time means. I guess till the 2nd or till the 1st? 1st or the 2nd. Probably the 1st. October 1st. Premium plan's great. It's got all the training you need. Professional plan goes beyond that. You get coaching during the month, and the coaches that we have on staff are very, very good. I had the privilege of sitting in with them for like 2 weekends ago. I got to do a project where we were looking at a lot of replays and talking about a lot of stuff. So I think I'm going to play some Rocket League, and actually maybe I'll do some trophy trainings. So I'll just go into what I normally. Oh, look at it. So completion is new. They just added this in. And it's been tracking what I've been doing. That's nice. I don't have to redo them. Hop resets. We will try those. Bam. I always love this pack. It may not be the best practice, but I love it. Beautiful. This is big shout out to Madison on this one. A big shout out in general to Madison, but it's really awesome. I know it's so superficial to have your name like a jersey, but it is very awesome. This is like the main car I drive in now. And the colors are nice. All right, so let's see. First time doing this today, and my video streaming, my frames are low, so I'm feeling choppy. Actually, I'm gonna watch what the pro's doing here. Interesting. So you can see, we can, this is the pro's move. We can see what he's doing here. All right, so we'll try this. I actually might play a game or two after this, just so you guys can see how garbage I actually am. We'll get some warm-ups in. And in fact, I'm going to go to one of the warm-up games. So, all right, you start. I waited. So now I need to just like get around everything and somehow stop the ball. We want to get a lot of touches. Uh-oh, I'm gonna die. Oh no, I didn't just try to get in. Let's boost. They're there. Cheese it by just like dribbling. Let's see. I don't know if I can dribble. That would be nice. No, Raja's just so the bots go for the nearest goal. Let's say 76-30. It's not so bad. This is what we're witnessing is champ level gameplay, so you know, champish. We'll try different training. So I feel, not going to say I feel completely warmed up, but sideways air dribble setups, this one's good. I'll just throw it on. I'm not going to be able to do it, but all right. So sideways.
You should hit the bouncing ball with controlled touches, using air roll so the ball lands on your car's hood, keeping it close and controlled in the air. Good luck. And remember, you can press P to watch a pro perform the shot if you need a visual example. Let me know if you have more questions.
I love this. So this mechanic is, or this is actually a series of mechanics, compound mechanic, if you wanted to be specific, I suppose. I love how it's just, eventually the words aren't going to be able to explain what it is we're trying to do. Beautiful double tap. Oh, I see. They're always soft. So he's just, we're getting farther. Nice musty. Nice having the controller overlay, to be honest. I can kind of guess at what's going on, but seeing where they exactly use their jump, I mean, I'm just not that good. That's about as close as it's gonna get. Holy. Yeah, it's actually easier to control. Yeah, look at how much easier just using the opposite air roll. And to me, this is like where these exercises come in. So of course I want to score, but really this is me like getting used to moving and getting used to understanding the way my car interacts in the world. Basically trying to eliminate the difference between my in real life self, my IRL self, and the like virtual car. And so the more of these like intimate exercise sessions you do, the less opaque, I guess, or the you just become connected with the vehicle. I'm on a thing right now where I'm trying to do 5 games a day per playlist. I'll start with some 1v1 though. You can see actually how cracked I am at this video game. I will try, I'm gonna pull up the stats after this match so we can see. Or maybe I'll do a 2v2. Oh, he didn't save that? That's crazy. Oh, there we go. Can't see them. Oh. Overlays, transition. Can I beat the time fit to screen transition? There it is. We did it.
Hello.
We're back in. Nice.
We're back. We are back.
We're back.
Okay, let's try comp 3v3 and see how we fare.
I almost. Nice save.
Oh, I've gotten bumped back into the net.
Oh, good. That was a beautiful save, man.
Oh. Wide,
We're good.
thankfully. Oh, dear. Oh, boy. That's got lost on the back wall.
Back wall is so easy to get lost on.
Oof, yeah.
I think
bad at
6 times out of 10.
In there. Okay, we're warming up.
Yeah, it's all good. All good. It's not like you've been working every day for hours on end about trying to make.
Oh, that's my least favorite bounce right there.
Yeah. Hard to read. Nice. Good 50. Beautiful 50. What the heck?
Oh, nice try. There it is. Okay.
Nice, dude. Yeah, as first man there, I'm trying. Obviously, I want to score, but my goal is just to make them move.
Yeah, no, that was great. The next match is our match. I can feel it.
Yeah, well, we're warming up. Y'all demo free? No, we're not. Yes.
There you go.
Nice.
Great, Sean.
Nice shot.
Oh, you definitely freaked him out.
Yeah. We mid. Nice bumps. Dang.
Oh, there you go.
Nice shot. Or nice pass, man. That's what I meant to say. And good bumps.
Thank you.
Plays. Nice, good job.
I don't have boost, but
Oh, dear. That's going to be cute.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I pushed
Sorry.
up. I pushed up. 2-2.
I'm not wearing it because you wouldn't be able to see it.
I don't know what the plan is in terms of releasing public-facing ones. We might do one. I don't know. But we have the things.
Go.
The pieces are in place.
Nice play. Good shot.
Yeah, nice shot. We're locked. It took him 1 game.
We're locked.
Put up.
Yeah, if you can make a vulture-based clan, no reason you can't make a Batmobile clan. Nice. Honor in the follow. There you go.
Nice shots.
What a play.
Yeah, it took 3 tries, but we got there.
Hey, man.
That works. That's why you rotate, right?
Yeah.
That is why you rotate. Beautiful shot. Those are
It's worth sacrificing the ping for, the quality of friend.
That could be in, right?
Oh!
good save, Lamb. Good save.
Okay.
Oh. Nice.
Good demo.
Nice. Good control.
Very good
So
control.
I can finish it.
Wow.
You're
Oh,
crazy.
can you finish it?
Oh!
Oh, he hit Tito's.
That was a nice little sequence.
You did good. What the heck? Blowing up. He peaked. 2 games in.
That was a nice little keep up there at the end.
It was.
Well, I gotta say, of course I'm biased. I work for the company, but I really do feel like Trophy has been immensely helpful for me for ground dribble and like those little ground touches. Like I had little sense of what to do with it until I started working for the company, and like I did sit in on some actual coaching lessons, but also playing the games and doing the AI coaching lesson. I've been really working like ground dribble and those little like ball control, including the warm-up game. So that's like the biggest improvement that I've seen at my level.
It's working.
Now, okay, well,
yeah,
I gotta go. I wish I could play more games. I gotta go pick up my daughter from daycare. Actual life priorities. But thank you for everything, guys. Thank you for doing this live stream. It's awesome.
Yes,
thank you to everyone watching again.
Thank you, everyone. I'm gonna hop off. Feel free to reach out to us on in the Discord and stuff if you want to be a part of these, and we'll try and coordinate with you ahead of time.